There are places on Earth shaped by roads, borders, and cities. And then there are places shaped by ice, wind, and time. Greenland belongs to the second kind. This is not a land that adapts itself to human comfort. It does not smooth its edges. It does not hide its dangers. It does not explain itself. Greenland exists on its own terms. It is the largest island on Earth, yet one of the least populated. A land where the ground is frozen for most of the year, where the weather dictates movement, and where survival has always depended on knowledge rather than convenience. Here, mountains rise directly from the sea. Glaciers move like slow, living organisms. Icebergs drift silently through dark waters. And silence itself feels heavy. Greenland is not simply a destination. It is a reminder of how the planet once worked, and how it still works beyond the reach of modern control. Greenland in full depth, its geography and immense ice sheet, its climate and extreme weather, its people, culture, language, and belief systems, its food, traditions, and education, its hidden mineral wealth beneath the ice, its cities, settlements, and remote regions, its iconic landscapes and hidden places that few travelers ever reach. This is not a story of luxury or escape. It is a story of endurance, adaptation, and truth. Greenland lies between the Arctic Ocean and the North Atlantic Ocean, northeast of Canada and northwest of Europe. Politically, it is an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark. Geographically, it is part of North America, covering approximately 2.16 million square kilometers. Greenland is larger than Mexico, larger than Saudi Arabia, and larger than most of Western Europe combined. Yet fewer than 60,000 people live here. More than 80% of Greenland is covered by ice, making it the second largest ice-covered landmass on Earth after Antarctica. The remaining habitable areas exist almost entirely along the coast, where ice retreats enough to allow settlements. There are no roads connecting most towns. Movement between communities depends on boats, aircraft, helicopters, snowmobiles, and, in some regions, dog sleds. Greenland is not connected internally by infrastructure in the way most countries are. This isolation shapes everything, from economy to culture to mindset. Greenland's location is not just remote, it is strategically important. It sits at the center of Arctic climate systems, ocean currents, and atmospheric circulation. Changes in Greenland affect global sea levels, weather patterns, and ecosystems across the planet. Greenland is not far away from the world. It is deeply connected to the world's future. As Arctic ice melts, Greenland has gained global attention, politically, economically, and strategically. World powers are increasingly interested in Greenland's resources and location. This has placed Greenland at the center of international discussions about climate change, security, and sovereignty. Greenlanders are aware of this attention. Many are cautious. The land has taught them patience. Greenland does not rush decisions. It has learned that long-term survival matters more than short-term gain. Greenland is not culturally uniform. In fact, East and West Greenland feel like different countries. Western Greenland is where most of the population lives. Towns like Nuuk, Sisimiut, and Ilulissat are connected to fishing industries, administration, education, and tourism. Danish influence is stronger here, infrastructure is more developed, and modern life is more visible. Eastern Greenland, by contrast, is remote and sparsely populated. Settlements are smaller, traditions are more deeply preserved, and isolation remains a daily reality. Many communities in the East were historically cut off for long periods, allowing unique dialects, customs, and survival practices to endure. In East Greenland, hunting is still central to identity. Travel is more dangerous, supplies are scarcer, weather dictates everything. This divide shapes how Greenlanders see themselves. There is no single Greenland experience. There are many Greenlands. At the heart of Greenland lies its defining feature, the Greenland Ice Sheet. This vast mass of ice covers most of the island and reaches thicknesses of more than 3 kilometers in some areas. It contains enough frozen water to raise global sea levels by approximately 7 meters, if fully melted. The ice sheet is not static. It flows slowly toward the coast, driven by gravity. When it reaches the ocean, massive icebergs break off in a process known as calving. These icebergs drift into the North Atlantic, some surviving for months or even years. The ice sheet is also a scientific archive. Researchers drill deep ice cores to study Earth's climate history. Trapped air bubbles reveal atmospheric conditions dating back more than 100,000 years. These records help scientists understand past temperature cycles, greenhouse gas concentrations, and climate shifts. In this way, Greenland's ice is more than frozen water. It is a memory bank of the planet itself. Greenland's climate is classified as polar to subpolar, but such labels barely describe its reality. Winter temperatures in inland regions can fall below -40 degrees Celsius. Coastal areas are somewhat milder due to ocean influence, but still harsh by global standards. Summers are short and cool, with temperatures rarely exceeding 10 degrees Celsius. One of Greenland's most defining features is its light cycle. In northern regions, the sun does not rise for months during winter, creating the phenomenon known as polar night. During summer, the sun may not set at all, producing the midnight sun. Weather conditions can change rapidly. Strong winds, sudden snowstorms, and whiteout conditions are common. Visibility can disappear within minutes. Ice fog can freeze exposed skin almost instantly. In Greenland, weather is not background information. It is a deciding force. Daily plans, travel, and work all depend on weather conditions. The environment does not negotiate. Greenland's landscapes are among the most dramatic on Earth. Along the coast, deep fjords carve into the land, creating narrow waterways bordered by steep cliffs. Glaciers descend into the sea, releasing icebergs the size of buildings. These icebergs drift slowly, changing shape as they melt. Inland, the ice sheet stretches endlessly, flat, white, and silent. This region is largely uninhabited and accessible only through specialized expeditions. During summer, parts of Greenland's coastline transform. Tundra vegetation emerges, including mosses, grasses, lichens, and small flowering plants. These ecosystems are adapted to short growing seasons and extreme cold. There are no forests. Trees cannot survive Greenland's climate. Instead, the land is open, exposed, and vast. Greenland's scenery does not invite exploration lightly. It demands preparation and respect. The majority of Greenland's population is Inuit, descendants of Arctic peoples who migrated from North America thousands of years ago. These communities developed deep knowledge of ice, animals, weather patterns, and seasonal cycles. Survival required cooperation, observation, and adaptability. Modern Greenlanders live in both traditional and contemporary worlds. Many work in fishing, administration, education, or tourism, while still participating in hunting, fishing, and community traditions. Most towns are small. In many settlements, everyone knows one another. Mutual support is essential, particularly during extreme weather or emergencies. Greenlandic society values resilience, practicality, and modesty. Survival has shaped cultural character. The official language of Greenland is Kalaallisut, a Greenlandic Inuit language. Danish is also widely spoken, particularly in administration and education. Kalaallisut reflects environmental awareness. Inuit languages contain dozens of specific words for ice, snow, and weather conditions. This vocabulary developed out of necessity, where understanding subtle differences in ice could mean the difference between safety and danger. Language is closely tied to identity. Efforts to preserve and strengthen Greenlandic language use are central to cultural autonomy and political self-determination. Communication tends to be direct and understated. Words are used carefully. Silence is not uncomfortable. It is normal. Christianity, primarily Lutheran Protestantism, was introduced to Greenland by Danish missionaries in the 18th century and remains the dominant religion today. However, traditional Inuit belief systems never fully disappeared. Older spiritual traditions emphasized animism, the belief that animals, land, and natural forces possess spirit. Respect for hunted animals, careful use of resources, and avoidance of waste reflect these older beliefs. Religion in Greenland is often personal rather than ceremonial. Faith here is quiet, practical, and closely tied to daily responsibility. Traditional Greenlandic life followed seasonal cycles. In winter, communities hunted seals and fished through ice. In summer, they hunted caribou, fished in open waters, and gathered resources. Dog sleds were once the primary transportation system in many regions. While modern vehicles have replaced them in some areas, dog sledding remains culturally significant and is still used in northern regions. Clothing was traditionally made from animal skins, designed for warmth and flexibility. Many traditional techniques are still taught today. Tradition in Greenland is not nostalgia. It is survival knowledge. Greenlandic cuisine reflects environment and necessity. Traditional foods include seal meat, whale meat, Arctic char, muskox, reindeer, and dried fish. Every part of the animal was traditionally used. Vegetables were historically rare. Modern imports now supplement diets, but food remains expensive due to transportation challenges. Some traditional dishes involve fermentation, allowing preservation through long winters. One well-known example is kiviak, prepared for special occasions. Food in Greenland is not about variety, it is about sustenance. Education in Greenland combines local culture with international curricula. Children learn Greenlandic language and history alongside mathematics, science, and technology. Many students travel abroad, particularly to Denmark, for higher education. This creates challenges related to cultural identity and migration. Technology has reduced isolation. Internet access connects Greenlanders to the global community, but physical distance remains a reality. Modern life in Greenland is a balance between opportunity and preservation. Beneath Greenland's ice lies significant mineral wealth. Greenland is believed to contain rare earth elements, uranium, iron ore, zinc, gold, and offshore oil and gas reserves. As ice retreats, access to these resources increases. Mining promises economic opportunity, but also raises environmental and cultural concerns. Greenland faces a critical decision: how to balance development with protection of fragile ecosystems and traditional ways of life. Nuuk is Greenland's capital and largest city. It serves as the political, cultural, and economic center. Ilulissat is famous for the Ilulissat Ice Fjord, a UNESCO World Heritage Site known for massive icebergs. Sisimiut is an important fishing and industrial town north of the Arctic Circle. Qaqortoq is a southern town with milder climate and colorful architecture. Each town reflects a different aspect of Greenlandic life. Greenland's economy relies heavily on fishing, particularly shrimp and halibut. These exports form the backbone of national income. Tourism is growing, but remains controlled due to infrastructure limitations and environmental concerns. Mining and resource extraction represent potential economic independence, but they also carry risk. Environmental damage, cultural disruption, and geopolitical interest complicate development decisions. Greenland's economic future is not simple. It is a balancing act between independence and preservation. Greenland is not for casual tourism. It offers no resorts, limited luxury, expensive travel, unpredictable conditions. But for those willing to adapt, Greenland offers something rare: honest experience. Tourism here attracts scientists, photographers, hikers, climate researchers, and travelers seeking raw environments. Greenland does not entertain visitors. It educates them. Tourism in Greenland is limited and carefully managed. Key destinations include Ilulissat, Ice Fjord, Disco Island, East Greenland fjords, Northern Lights viewing areas, whale watching zones, and dog sledding routes. Greenland does not offer convenience. It offers authenticity. Few travelers ever reach Northeast Greenland National Park, the largest national park in the world. Other remote areas include inland ice expeditions, isolated fjords, and settlements with fewer than 100 residents. These places remain untouched, not by secrecy, but by difficulty. Greenland is warming faster than the global average. Melting ice contributes to rising sea levels and changes in ocean circulation. These changes affect ecosystems and weather patterns worldwide. Greenland is not only experiencing climate change, it is revealing it. Life in extreme isolation has psychological consequences. Long winters, limited daylight, small communities, and restricted mobility can contribute to mental health challenges, including depression and anxiety. Greenland has faced serious issues related to mental health and suicide, particularly among young people. These challenges are openly discussed within the country, and efforts are ongoing to improve mental health services, education, and community support. Cultural resilience plays an important role. Strong community ties, cultural pride, and reconnection with traditional practices are seen as essential tools for healing. Greenland does not hide these issues. It confronts them. Hunting in Greenland is not sport. It is survival, heritage, and economy. For thousands of years, Inuit communities relied on hunting seals, whales, caribou, and fish. These practices were developed with deep respect for animals and strict rules about waste. Modern Greenland still permits hunting, regulated by quotas and seasons. For many families, hunted food is not cultural symbolism. It is essential nutrition. Outside Greenland, hunting often sparks controversy. But understanding Greenland requires context. Imported food is extremely expensive. Fresh produce is limited. Traditional hunting remains one of the most sustainable food systems in the Arctic. Hunters are trained from youth. Knowledge of ice safety, animal behavior, and weather conditions is passed down carefully. In Greenland, hunting is not about dominance over nature. It is about coexisting with it. Beyond major towns lie settlements with fewer than 100 residents. In these places, supplies arrive by boat or helicopter. Power may be limited. Medical care requires evacuation. Community bonds are essential. Life here is quieter, harder, and deeply personal. Visitors rarely reach these areas, not because they are secret, but because reaching them requires time, preparation, and respect. These settlements represent Greenland in its most authentic form. At some point, every visitor experiences the same realization. Greenland is not impressive in a loud way. It is impressive in a quiet one. There are no crowds, no spectacle, no distractions, only space, ice, wind, and time. And in that environment, people begin to notice themselves differently. Greenland does not offer comfort. It offers truth. It shows a world shaped by restraint, cooperation, and respect for nature. It reminds us that survival once depended on knowledge rather than excess. Greenland is changing, but it remains a place where the environment still sets the rules. And in its ice, silence, and vastness, Greenland asks a question we cannot ignore. How will we live on this planet when the ice remembers everything? If this journey through Greenland gave you a new perspective, if it made you pause, think, or see the world a little differently, then help this story reach others. Like this video, share it with someone who values real places and real stories, and subscribe to the channel to continue exploring the world beyond the surface. There are many more stories waiting, and we'll keep telling them, one place at a time. See you in the next journey.